Hello everybody and welcome to the Real Housewives Edit. My name is Elle and I am here to talk to you about the two loves of my life, editing and housewives. Thank you guys so much again for subscribing to the channel, doing the like things, doing all the YouTube stuff. I'm just so excited to be creating this community of nerds who love housewives and all the nerd stuff that go along with it. Today we're going to be discussing the scene at Rinna's disco party and the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let's just jump right in.
Just last week at my homeless not toothless dinner, you said to the group, Erika, you have a lot of lawsuits. That was below the belt.
That was mean.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Don't play dumb.
It's aggressive.
Let's say it. I don't care if I'm aggressive.
So straight out of the gate, they're going after Sutton again. Now, I understand. You guys should see my Google searches in the middle of the night. I literally Googled, is Sutton a Virgo? I myself am a Virgo, so I'm not anti any sign. Obviously, they're all amazing. But I can just feel major Virgo energy from Sutton because there's a judgmental quality, there's definitely a know-it-all quality, and again, I'm a Virgo. There's a quality to her that, especially for some of these ladies, just can push buttons, even when she's trying her very, very hardest. The scene is sort of supposed to be, you know, they've all kind of made up earlier in this episode. And then of course we're coming right back and everything's just going down with Sutton again.
I don't care if I'm aggressive. I'm not having your back right now, and I'm not having her
You've
back.
never had my back.
Have your own back, Sutton Strack.
Okay.
So after we had dinner at Dorit's house,
Okay, so I just wanted you guys to hear that there was this part where someone, I think it was Kyle, said, okay.
Sutton Strack.
Okay.
It was sort of in the background and you didn't see her actually say it. I just like to pick out those little moments because you just don't know if that actually came from that moment or it came from another moment. I've worked in editorial where we've grabbed audio from a whole other scene of a character saying something and you throw it into another scene to make it work. It's all just kind of trying to make storyline work. Maybe they had to put it in there to show like, oh, Kyle's trying to diffuse the situation. It seems like she's always trying to diffuse situations that she's starting, but...
and we had the whole conversation with Sutton.
At the Toothless and Homeless Foundation?
Not toothless and homeless. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
This is a really important charity, Kathy.
What?
Homeless, not toothless.
Homeless, not toothless.
Yes. And Garcelle, you know, it's a really...
Okay, so what they're doing here when they're showing Kathy doing, you know, this sort of insensitive comment about this charity that Dorit is very, very passionate about, she's laughing, you know, they cut to Garcelle, she's laughing. They even cut to Crystal, who's trying to correct it, but you can see that tiny little smile on Crystal's face too. Obviously, this is exactly how it went down, but also this is to anchor us a little bit. As we spoke about in the last episode about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Homeless Not Toothless Foundation, I'm sure it's doing great work, but the name
is not amazing.
What's weird about it is that it's affirming homelessness, like, but I don't want to be homeless. Okay, I think that's kind of why the name is being made fun of a lot, but anyway.
Are you talking to me now?
Charity. Yes, you're laughing.
I'm laughing because she's funny. It's not about your charity. Come on. It's not about your charity.
The name is not amazing, but they do good work. That's all that matters.
They do amazing work.
Forgetting about the toothless, not homeless charity.
No, it's
Not
homeless,
homeless.
not toothless.
Homeless,
You
not
just said toothless.
Okay, again, so they cut to Crystal. She's trying to correct Kyle, but she's also laughing while doing it. And again, this is just a way for the editors to kind of have some of these characters relating to us, even though it is, you know, slightly insensitive because this is a charity doing work and they're kind of, you know, making a mockery of the name. But I would say like they know that a lot of the viewers at home have kind of similar opinions, so they're going to leave those in to kind of anchor us.
What is the name of the charity?
Okay, so in these little confessionals, they actually go between Kyle and Sutton and they kind of like swipe the screen. They're in totally different rooms. They were shot at totally different times, but both of them cannot remember the name of the charity. Not to mention they picked two people, Sutton and Kyle, who seem to always kind of be nice and they want to be righteous and they want to be right. So the fact that they picked those two characters to be saying like, I don't even know the name of the charity, and then they put this little music on there. It's cartoonish, it's clownish, it's to kind of put us in a lighter space. Housewives does this a lot too. They use these little light moments to kind of break up moments that the tension is building very quickly. So you see in this scene where they're fighting, the tension's building, building, building. I've talked about this a lot before, and I'm gonna keep talking about it for the rest of this channel. When you build tension in a scene as an editor, you have to kind of break the tension and then rebuild it, break it, rebuild it. If you're constantly just building on it, at a certain point, audiences tend to check out. That's why with scary scenes in scary movies, they have to kind of build it with music, and then it's da, and then the character jumps out of the closet, and then the chase is on. But if it was just constant suspense the whole time, although that can be extremely powerful, but for the most part, they have to cut the tension so the audience doesn't check out and cut the tension themselves. So they do this a lot with Housewives. Hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. It keeps us engaged.
It's toothless, not homeless.
They're fixing their teeth, right? So it's homeless. No, it's toothless. No, homeless, not toothless.
They should maybe rename that organization.
It's homeless, not toothless.
Honey, I'm so sorry. I have worked with the homeless. I have worked with the toothless.
I've worked with the homeless. I've worked with the toothless. That is what just came out.
Okay, so I thought that was a really funny cut there. She said, I've worked with the homeless, I've worked with the toothless. Of course, Erika's talking and her face is being covered by her hair because she's trying not to be caught on camera laughing at this thing that she was saying it's not funny 1 second prior. Anyway, they cut to Kathy and she eats a French fry. I thought that was such brilliant editing because who knows if that actually was the time that she was eating those French fries. It just adds to sort of her obliviousness. Having that little moment where she eats that French fry just adds a little comic
Out of her mouth. That's not funny.
Homeless, toothless, toothless. I mean, it should be given another name.
After the charity night at Dorit's house, you and I thought Sutton had a moment.
Yeah.
But then you have very strong feelings about Sutton and your opinion of her.
I do.
Yeah, great, Lisa.
Lisa, you're the one that keeps telling me, I forgive you. We're friends. Clearly, that's not.
Now you guys are obviously, if you've watched any of my other videos, they don't want to put reaction shots in there that don't really relate to what Sutton is saying in the confessional. Sutton is saying, Lisa, you keep forgiving me. And then the reaction shots that they use of showing Lisa is this face like, well, what are you going to do about it? Almost like she's listening to the actual confessional.
Lisa's doing, it's like a 70s dance. She's doing the back pedal. The back pedal.
And listen, I get it. When it's supposed to work out between Sutton and myself, it will. I know that we are trying to make that happen. If I come across and say I love someone 1 minute and then I'm, angry the next minute, I'm going to cut myself some slack on that right now. And I think I have every right to do that because I'm trying to work out grief.
Well, listen.
Okay, so that moment right there where she says, I'm trying to work out grief, and I'm not trying to take that away from her. I don't personally know how she's feeling at all, so I can't speak to how she's feeling or whatever, but I do think there's something there. She says, I'm trying to work out grief, and then they have a reaction shot of Kyle. Kyle's face, I do believe, is an anchoring moment to us. Not saying that Lisa isn't going through any grief. Kyle's little look, which is just a little bit judgy, a little bit like, is that really what, are you using that again? That moment is to sort of bring us in and go like, yeah, someone else in that scene feels the same way as you guys do.
I can be a bit of a loose cannon. I'm a colt.
A colt?
That's a baby horse.
Oh, a colt.
However,
Sutton, you're tangenting. Just
hang on. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've got this.
Okay.
I don't want to take away from the fact that I was making a point. This is the truth, though. I should have said what I said.
Okay, so I want you guys to see, so she's trying to find her words right now. This is actually very relatable for me. This is what I would do if all of a sudden the attention was put on me and I was trying to make a point. I definitely would be the one who'd be like, no, I've got it, Crystal. I've got it, I don't got it. But what I think is interesting, what I wanted to point out to you guys, is that while she's kind of vamping, they don't just have the camera straight on just one angle of her while she's trying to find her words. They're cutting around a lot of different angles. They have close-ups of other characters, to over her shoulder shot, they have the group shot. What they do with those shots is they're able to manipulate what she's saying. What I do a lot of when I'm making videos for businesses or, whatever videos that I'm doing, because that's like my real job, not talking about Housewives. I mean, although this would be the best job ever. It's called coverage. When you have angles of different stuff, or when you have B-roll, which is shots of other things besides the person talking, you use all of that to cover, to be able to manipulate what they're saying. Because if there's someone that stumbles on their words a lot, like what she's probably doing, for time's sake, they probably got to take out big spaces. They're getting a lot of angles, which tells me as an editor that they're actually manipulating what she's saying a little bit, condensing it a little bit, because it's probably taking a lot longer than even being shown, because they're using all of the coverage that they can.
Hang on.
I
never
have a drinking problem. Well, we can get to that one later.
Oh,
Ma'am.
Okay, so that was an interesting little piece there.
I have a drinking problem.
Usually that would be something that they would put that knife sharpening sound on, and then they do reaction shots of everyone, you know, reacting to that line. The reason why they didn't is because this continues. That is literally just the beginning of it. They get a couple reaction shots, and then she keeps going. The music is still going. It's only getting worse, so it's just ramping up.
Do you have a drinking problem?
no, I don't have a drinking problem.
Neither do I, but you tried to push it.
Have I said it about you? Yeah, I thought you did. Because there were so many instances
Number
where
3.
you were out of control.
Three.
Okay.
Excuse me. You know exactly what I've been going through, and I told you straight up what happened.
Right.
But you tried to push that false narrative that I had a problem.
I did not try to push that.
Yeah, you did. You
No.
kept talking about it.
No. What I did, Erika, is that I said
Yes,
you need
Garcelle.
you need to figure out your
I did.
medicine
I did.
and drink ratio.
I did.
That's what I
But
said.
that was interesting there. They had that reaction from Erika where she says, yes, Garcelle, and she's trying to be tough, but the editors let that clip play out a little bit longer. The way her mouth moved after that sort of had like an insecurity to it. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. To me, it felt like there was a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of fear there, because what Garcelle was saying is true, and Garcelle, I personally don't think is coming from a super mean place like Erika's trying to play it off to be. So I thought that was interesting there. They kind of left it hanging on her.
It's a narrative, but just because you don't like it, doesn't make it false.
Are you trying to get over, or are you trying to be helpful?
That's how I felt, and when I had drinks with you, I said I was worried about you.
Are you, though?
Yeah.
My point is this. It's just that if I had a problem, you would kind of be the last person to know, because these women are the closest to me.
Oh, I know. God, you guys say that almost every other day.
What I meant by that is that they would notice my behavior and probably pull me inside and be like, hey, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you?
Okay, this is the part where I was like, I just cannot wait to talk to you guys about this. Editors, why didn't you?
They would notice my behavior and probably pull me inside and be like, hey, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you?
You were out of control. She needs to hear what the two of us have to say. You can't cross that line because it's not good for you.
It's reckless.
You have to stop this now because you can't do it anymore.
Thank you for saying, hey, you know what? You gotta stop that shit.
We all hit rock bottom. Everybody has a rock bottom moment. I think that this is yours.
You don't want to get to a point where we're all worried about you and it looks a little messy and sloppy.
Well, you know who came to my house to basically let me have it and call me on the carpet was Lisa Rinna.
Did she?
Hell yes, she did.
Good.
They never flashed back to that. They didn't say anything about that. I know that the editors and producers probably think of all of that stuff. It makes me wonder, like, why didn't they do it? And the only thing that I can think of is that it just wouldn't have gone with the way they're trying to push this scene. They are trying to kind of put this Erika versus Garcelle type of thing up there because that's kind of the narrative, that's a storyline that's playing out in this season. If they had gone off and played Erika by saying like what she's saying is not true, it would have taken away from the rivalry they're trying to create between Erika and Garcelle. It would have just been more about like, oh, Erika's talking nonsense here. It's just weird. I'm just like, you guys, we should have seen that there.
All of that aside, it felt as if you went to different people in this group and talked about, does Erika have a problem?
It makes it feel like I'm like, oh my God, let's get together so we can talk about Erika.
So I saw Erika last night and she totally said, I'm not allowed to drink when I'm on these meds.
Did you feel concerned?
This is a weird flashback for me too. I'm not bagging on the editors or anything. I know there's a purpose for it, but I think it's so weird because Garcelle says,
it makes it feel like I'm like, oh my God, let's get together so we can talk about Erika.
What would have been great and shady and ideal for the show if she was pulling these people aside and being like, oh my God, did you see Erika, blah, blah, blah. But these clips that they show, I don't get the idea that Garcelle's trying to spill tea here at all. I get the idea of like someone who's a concerned friend. It's just weird that they chose these as the flashbacks. I think it's to support what she's saying, but the way they put it in kind of feels like they were trying to contradict. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think.
I did.
She's gone through so much. She's sort of like being a little more free with us and letting her hair down and showing a more...
And you don't think that could lead to an alcoholism? I got together with these ladies, and I said, does Erika seem like something's happening with her?
Okay, but is that to make Erika look bad, or is that out of genuine
Erika,
concern?
I don't have to make you look bad. You can do that on your own.
And you can make yourself look like a liar right now.
I love that she tries to come back with something, but no. Garcelle totally knocked her down there. I just am so blown away that she would say that, especially with the clips that we just saw, the flashbacks. I don't know, what do you guys think? Am I just being totally biased? But I feel like Garcelle has genuine concern. She's definitely not trying to make Erika look bad. Considering Erika screamed at her kids and flirted with her adult married son, she has given so much grace to Erika, and that Erika's coming at her so strongly here. The only thing I can think of is they really just need to push their fight narrative forward.
Oh, so now you're calling me a liar?
It makes it feel like you had some other ulterior motive. You just wanted me to have a problem in it.
You having a problem doesn't change my life in any way.
And it does, and it
Good
shouldn't,
or bad.
or anybody else's. And it's my life to destroy or build or
Then
rebuild.
destroy it. Blow up your life. It's your prerogative.
I'm just gonna say it. This is the friend that we all need. It's not the fun friend to have when you're going through stuff or when you're making bad decisions, but it's definitely the friend you think about when you're like, oh my gosh, like they give it to me straight. I don't like friends who are just yes people. Let your hair down when you're destructing your life. No, that's not a friend. I think Garcelle's being a great friend, but it's okay.
It's not like coming from a helpful place. Like, hey, Erika's in a really bad place. I know that she's going.
That's exactly what they just flashed back to. Okay.
That's probably the perception you got from the other women you were talking to.
I said to her that you had said, are you not concerned? And I said to you, Garcelle, I've known her for so long. She's never, ever been like this. And you said, don't be Kyle. Don't be Kyle.
Okay, but I'm sorry, I keep interjecting here. You saying that she's never been like that before should be even more of a red flag. That should be like the actual words that you say before you say, so yes, she does need our help. Guys, okay, we're about to flashback here.
Kyle, don't be Kyle.
Okay, now see, you're exaggerating. I said, don't be Kyle.
Don't be Kyle. Don't be Kyle.
I guarantee you said it more than once.
What's wrong with being Kyle?
Ladies, we're supposed to lift each other up, and it's a
Not
good
this girl.
conversation.
Kathy, we need to also have real conversations.
I'm gonna tell you right now that Erika and Sutton...
I love that Dorit said we need to have real conversations. I feel like these, you know, whatever these ladies call each other, the Fox 4 or 5 or whatever, are like the ultimate, like, not real conversations.
There's a love-hate, and you guys need to probably start over.
Erika, I'm going to call you tomorrow. I am. Just between me and you, I'm going to call you. Just so that you understand what's going on. I am.
Please don't. Thank you.
Well...
I thought that was an interesting cut right there. She said,
please don't. Thank you.
I feel like they cut out something that Sutton said. I feel like just the way she responded felt like she was responding to an actual like verbal response of like, okay, I won't. Sometimes they'll cut things out because of time. They're like, the look on Sutton's face was plenty, so they just cut right to her going.
Do we have a little more clarity tonight about everyone's relationships here?
I think it's all good. Boy, did I get snapped at about.
Okay, and that music cue that comes in, that's a really common music cue. I don't know if it's that exact one, but the energy of it, the feel of it, the way it sounds, it does have sort of that thing of like unfinished business. And they do use cues like that in other scenes and lots of other seasons and episodes just to kind of show like, this isn't closed, the door isn't closed on this yet, we're still going, there's still tons of tension in the air.
Snapped at about the Toothless and the Homeless Association. What difference is it? Toothless and homeless, homeless and toothless? I'm going to be calling you tonight going, toothless and homeless, homeless and toothless, toothless and homeless, homeless and toothless. What? It's the same thing.
I'm not taking your call.
Toothless and homeless, homeless and toothless, toothless and homeless, homeless and toothless.
Okay, Okay, they use this angle where it's right over Garcelle's shoulder and it's very close and very kind of intimate with Kathy. And the reason why they use that angle is because they want to give us the same sort of feeling that maybe Garcelle has, which is like, this is sort of an intimate, smaller conversation. If they had had that sort of in the wider shot where it's just the two shot of them, even though you would have heard Kathy, you wouldn't have felt the same sort of intimacy. So that's really it for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know I threw a lot of my opinion in there and I apologize, but I just can't help it when it comes to these ladies. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. When I get to 500 subscribers, I'm going to do this really special episode. It's not covering a specific scene, but it is in this whole realm of production and editing, and I think you guys will really appreciate it and have some fun with it. This is just such a fun project for me, so I hope you guys are having fun too. So until next time.
He lives further out.